Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'll speak to you today about a new high-grade gold district that we've discovered in southwestern Mongolia, named the Erdene Minerals District. Our standard forward-looking statement. The properties that are the focus of our exploration and now development activities are located in the Central Asian orogenic belt, which you can see on this map. And this is one of the most prolific gold and copper belts on the planet. It has hosted to the far west the largest gold deposit in the world, Morantau, and now about to become the fourth largest copper mine on the planet in Oyu Tolgoi. We focused about 10 years ago on an area we call the Transaltai terrain. We've spent about $8 million on regional geology there, and about 5 or 6 years ago made our first discovery at Bayan Khundii, which was spectacular. We walked out there and found 4,000 gram samples at surface, drilled our first hole, and from surface had an ounce of gold over 7 meters, and it's just continued from there with success after success. So a truly virgin terrain, one that's sure to provide us with multiple discoveries as we move forward, a very exciting district. So we are first movers in a very exciting portion of one of the world's great mineral belts. We believe unparalleled potential for discovery of both epithermal golds and porphyry copper. About a year ago, we entered into a strategic alliance with a company named MMC, which I'll speak to in a moment, but a fantastic alliance between the top explorer in the country and the most successful miner coming out of Mongolia. We have commenced construction on the Bayan Khundii project. It is fully funded and moving towards first gold in early 2025. And we have multi-million ounce potential, which I think you'll see as we move through this slide deck. And a sleeper in the mix is a project named Zuun Mod, which is a world-class molybdenum copper porphyry deposit that we're also working on. Our sort of corporate slide here, you'll see a market cap of about 114 million Canadian. On the right-hand side, we have an excellent shareholder register led by Eric Sprott at 18%. The European Bank for Reconstruction and Development is our second largest shareholder at 8%. This is the largest foreign investor in Mongolia. They have about 2.7 billion euros invested largely in the mining industry, and a host of North American and European institutions as well. You'll see on the bottom of that slide our share performance, and since we announced this deal in January 2023, we have outperformed both the TSX and the GDXJ. This is the structure of the deal we've entered into with MMC. In simplicity, we have two subsidiaries on either side of this slide. On the left-hand side, you'll see Erdene Mongol, which is where we've entered into the strategic alliance on a 50-50 basis. But in the center, you'll see that we have retained a 5% NSR. So when you think about the long-term economics of this district for our shareholders, we have about a 60% net profits in the overall development, not of just this mine, but anything we find in this district in the area of interest we've established. We've kept the Zuun Mod project outside of that, and we have this vehicle, Erdene Resources, which will allow us to continue with exploration outside of the area of interest. So kind of see three silos of value sitting in Erdene today. Our partner, Mongolian Mining Corporation, is the largest private producer of steelmaking coal coming out of Mongolia, listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, about a $1.8 billion market cap. They'll produce about $500 million in EBITDA over the next year, and they've made a decision to diversify into copper and gold projects, and we're the lucky recipient of those funds that they're generating. To date, they've put, we have 40 million of equity that came in the deal. They've just announced another 80 million of senior debt that will come into the project to give us a fully funded initial gold mine at Bayan Khundii. Very experienced group, 2,000 miners, been mining coke and coal for 12 years. Probably the best earth-moving miners in the country, which will really aid us in our mining costs. So the first project is the Bayan Khundii project. This is what I referred to earlier as the spot where we went out and picked up 4,000 gram samples. You can see some of the construction starting to take place in the background. Those gray hills to the right are the initial mine that will be open pit mined at Bayan Khundii. This is a shot of the larger exploration opportunity in this area. There's about 10 kilometers of mineralized structure. And you have to remember, this is an area that's never before seen any exploration. We're the first modern geologists to walk out here. We've focused our drilling on the two areas in the south, Dark Horse to the north and Bayan-Khundii to the south. But cast your eyes over these grades. You know, within shovel distance from surface, we're intersecting 15 meters of 40 grams. We've hit 15 meters of 150 grams at 150 meters depth at Bayan-Khundii. Our most recent discovery at Ulan, just in mid-21, was a blind top discovery. We hit 40 meters of 8 grams. You know, just exceptional grades for near-surface deposits, and they exist because this area has not been explored previously. The initial focus will be on the two pits you can see in this slide, the Bayan-Khundii main pit and a satellite pit. We've quickly moved into reserves because the grades are so high. Overall, 4 gram per ton within 150 meters of surface will be provided into the Bayan-Khundii CIP plant. Economics are fantastic, as you would expect with a 4 gram per ton head grade, just about $870 all-in sustaining costs, roughly $100 million capex with a 12% contingency. We'll produce roughly just over 500,000 ounces of gold in the first 6 years of production, but the pipeline is very full behind that. So this is what we have in reserves, but a large resource to follow. At current gold prices, about a 230 NPV and getting into the low 40% return on investment. We'll generate on an unlevered basis about $60 to $80 million a year based on where that gold price is, in this case $1,800 to $2,000 an ounce, which is split 50-50 between the two partners. But that 5% NSR kicks in the latter part of this mine life, which will allow us to shift into that higher proportion of the profits. This is a shot that was taken in September, gives you a lay of the land. We have a fantastic EPC contractor who's actually doing a lot of the work for Rio Tinto on the Oyu Tolgoi project, but they've moved very rapidly. We had a goal to get in rebar and concrete by December, which we did. It got a little colder and a little whiter over the last few months, but we did accomplish what we needed to. And just in the last week or so, we've seen that snow start to dissipate, and we've started to mobilize our crews again, and we'll have about 400 people on site by the end of March. Just a few more shots. So the objective is full construction throughout this year. We'll get to commissioning in early 25 and targeting gold in the early part of Q2 2025. As I mentioned earlier, we have the backing of MMC with about $80 million coming in. We have the EBRD. We have commercial banks in Mongolia that are also offering up funding should that be required. And just to switch now out of the Bayan-Khundii project specifically and sort of stand back a little bit, this is an area that isn't just geologically prospective. It's very rapidly, almost exponentially seeing infrastructure encroach on southern Mongolia. Rail, highway, power coming in from China. We're seeing what happened with Oyu Tolgoi in the eastern part of the Gobi Desert now starting to happen in the west as those infrastructure and utility opportunities come across the border. So we have a chance to sequence development here. We have the Bayan-Khundii project, which I just spoke about, a number of projects around that we can radiate out to and bring those into the mill. We have another 500,000 ounce deposit sitting at surface 16 kilometers north, Altan Nar, and we have Zuun Mod 35 kilometers to the east. Just a quick snapshot of one of the discoveries, the most recent one we made, not yet in resource, but again, you can look at the grades here, 40 meters of 8 grams in our most recent drilling. Very, very nice high-grade feeder zone coming up in, as I said, a blind discovery. Altan Nar, 500,000 ounces in the two areas you can see shaded there. It's a 5-kilometer-long trend that's just begging for more exploration. This will grow as well and makes a great second deposit. And Zuun Mod, one of the largest undeveloped moly projects globally, wide open for expansion and something we'll continue to work on this year. So when you look at that pipeline of opportunity, we have that foundation at Bayan-Khundii. We'll do over 75,000 ounces a year beginning in 2025. Great expansion or mine extension opportunities in the vicinity. Altan Nar will start to shift into that second development place as we move into the next few years. And longer term, Zuun Mod's not going to be a quick project, but we're sitting next door to the largest molybdenum consumer in the world, which is only going to grow, and we'll be in a position to take advantage of that. And just based on the fact that we found 3 discoveries within the top 150 meters of surface exposed at surface, suggests the probabilities are very high for more as we do deeper drilling as we move forward. So you have a re-rating opportunity, as you see with all of the projects moving through this stage. The re-rating will see that share price increase, but the exploration upside here is fantastic. Hopefully you'll get an opportunity to experience that. If you have any questions, please come find us at our booth or on our website. Thank you very much.